Hello and welcome everybody on this presentation today. I have with me the founder and CEO of Utopian Global on the call, Bill Rao. Hi Bill, how are you? Okay, he's coming. So we just have to wait a second here. He is just logging in as we speak. So hello to everybody all around the world. It's fantastic to have you on the call. I know many people, many places. Beautiful. Isn't that perfect? We can get connected here throughout the internet and be with so many different places all around the world. So Bill, here you are. Great. How are you? Yes, we're going to hear you in a second, I think.
I'm great, thanks, Claudia. It's great to be here and welcome to everyone joining us from many parts of the world. Many things going on, as we can see in the financial markets. All the more reason to own real assets, hard assets.
Most definitely, 100%. I mean, we just see it coming, really popping out everywhere, I believe. Right now, there's a lot of talks about gold. There's a lot of talks about, of course, the corona virus out there, and of course, how it does impact the financial markets, etc. So there's lots of huge discussions on it. There's people saying, well, it's not so bad. There's people saying this, but the thing is, what we see is definitely stock markets, of course, have been going down this week, and of course we see gold. I think it's now 7 years in the rise, isn't it?
Well, gold's been one of the best. It has been outperformed the S&P 500 since 2000. So it's been one of the best performing assets for sure. But most people don't look at it. They don't understand it, nor do they understand silver. I'm a great buyer of silver for long term. I think there's a lot of upside to that. And gold it's wealth preservation. Small part of your paper wealth you turn into gold. It's highly liquid. You can turn it back there. But I know you're going to address that on this presentation, Claudia.
Yes, I will do that as well once I start the presentation. There's still a lot of people logging in as we speak. So many people are just coming on board because as usually, of course, it takes a little bit of time to get connected here. But no, I mean, certainly there's a lot of talks around that. I mean, we see I posted something the other day on my Facebook, actually, that when you look at any major exchange, doesn't matter from the Australian stock exchange to the German to the Brazilian to the US exchange, the stock prices, when we look at any crisis, of course, from the last 100 years and how long, of course, the rises in stock and how long the crisis would take. So right now we are in the largest, basically, bull market of stocks. Yet, of course, the money printing has also been the largest, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely, Claire. I was just looking at the Dow Jones. Then actually, it's down this last few days, down close to 2,000 points, I think, which is significant. But absolutely, I mean, companies as shareholdings, just like you're a shareholder of Store, you're a shareholder of the assets at Raccoon Bend, and now soon to be, hopefully this year, the Polystream, of course, we're building plant. These assets have to generate revenues, and valuations are based on the asset value and asset revenues. But when you have quantitative easing or money printing, the expansion of the money supply, a lot of this is used to stimulate this artificial stock market. Companies' earnings are not where they are, but stock prices are well exceeded that. So the fundamentals are completely out of balance. But again, if you're a trader, the trend is your friend. But if you're a fundamentalist, you know that the sustained trend where it is right now, the trend where it is right now cannot be sustained. It must find its equilibrium and be a correction. So when that is this a correction? Is this a minor correction? No one really knows, but certainly it's had some huge pullbacks on some of the major indexes the last days.
And this is, of course, where gold and silver always has been the safe haven. It always has been the sort of the stable place to be in. And of course, we have been holding gold since long time. We have been promoting gold since long time. So if you would have put part, and that's the whole point of what we have been doing, if you just put part of it into gold or silver, of your money, of your income, of your earnings, you always have this safe haven, right? So this is what people often miss out at this point when we talk about Utopian Global and what we have in the assets. I mean, you're since 12 years a bullion trader, a bullion, basically in the bullion business.
Yes, well, most people misunderstand what precious metals are and their actual purpose. Historically, it's been money. Like, for example, in the US, we've lost generations there, don't have any understanding of gold, because from the 1930s, 32, I think it was, or 31, 1933 actually, up until 1974, I think it was illegal for US citizens to own gold. And of course, it was confiscated, billions of dollars worth of gold was confiscated in 1933. So the system, since we've had the Federal Reserve and European central banks, which prints as paper stuff, which the longer you hold, the less it buys, the system's been designed to actually dumb us down with the understanding of what real money is, to be quite honest. And this is why we established the company in 2008. I founded the Swiss company, was to give people the ability to save part of their, may only be a small part of their paper savings, convert it into real physical metals. It's wealth preservation, because every 10 years, whatever you have in your paper wealth is going to buy less than half of what it is today. Whereas gold and silver is wealth preservation. In fact, with silver, even with gold, but silver can tend to rise much faster, could also fall faster as well. You could actually have a multiplied compounding effect on the return, because you're saving in physical assets, saving in physical gold. And that's really the whole concept of Utopian Global, now that we've moved into, of course, the other assets, such as store, and this year, of course, building out the polystyrene plants, which will be cash flow generating assets. Without going into great details, one polystyrene plant will produce, which we can actually recycle, plastic stuff, 6 different types of plastic, will produce 60 tons a day, will produce about over 50,000 litres of pyrolysis oil per day, which is over 300 barrels. So we're taking this waste plastic and converting it into revenues, and of course, based on those revenues, next we build more plants, the stock price, our store price, will actually increase. But of course, we're still in the development phase. So this is why we can actually buy ownership in these assets now at a discounted price, because we're still in the development phase. But as we start building up, as we start developing and move into production later on in the year, sure, one thing's for sure, the price is going to shift. So that's why you people, I congratulate all of you, have come in early, whether you're buying a 50 euros worth, whether you're buying 50,000 euros worth or beyond that, you're getting in now at a discount rate because of that.
Yeah, and the great thing is, again, like we do own real assets, meaning if you buy gold and silver, obviously it's a no-brainer. This is and always has been, always will be money. If you buy store, well, we own already real assets, meaning they're already producing, they're making money. Right, Bill is a licensed precious metals dealer in Dubai. There, he shows his license. So yes, we see it, Bill. Thank you. Yes, we see it, but I don't speak Arab, but it's good to see it for the Arabic people on the call. So thank you so much. I think people prefer to see the gold though and have it in their hand, as we know. So the thing is that, like, Bill, so the gold or silver is there, and I get always the question about it, well, really, why gold, and does it make sense, gold? And of course you addressed it so many times, because it's the best hedge against inflation, while every paper currency, in fact every paper currency, has really lost it's losing its purchasing power, so that maintains your wealth. And if you earning money right now, well, just try to put some into something which is a store of value, which the purpose of gold and silver is. But you need assets, and I'm going to start with this presentation here in a bit. Bill, you're really good to be on the call, because it's good to have it, of course, interactive. I know you're busy, but I appreciate the time. But the whole point is we are living in an imbalanced global financial system. In a very imbalanced global financial system. We have the so-called, we, especially the European countries, Australia, also the US, we enjoyed very much our middle class, didn't we? I mean, look at the fantastic 90s we had. And now, you know, that middle class is really disappearing. And of course, people are struggle. They cannot go as they used to go like twice a year to holiday, just like that. Not in Germany. And Germany is the powerhouse of Europe. I have to remember or remind you on that. But that is the case. The average ordinary family in Germany cannot anymore do twice a year holiday. In fact, they cannot even sometimes do once a day a holiday, at least going outside their country, which they love to travel so much. So that already starts. We may don't yet understand it. We don't yet see it so much, but that imbalance is happening. Yet we have company revenue earnings, those CEOs of those big companies like Google, like Amazon, which, Bill, when have you ever heard that company manager or basically owners of those companies make so much money? And that is just outrageous, right?
Yeah, well, I forget the exact statistics now, but I know some of these failed companies, companies that have collapsed, payouts to some of the CEOs have been in the tens of millions of dollars. And the average income from an executive, top executive, is now, I think it's over 800 times the worker. So that it's way out of proportion today. You know, in private enterprise, you get paid on results. If you own a business, if you're generating an income, you actually get rewarded for that. If your company fails, well, you go down. But some of these big companies, when they do fail, they bail out, or the CEOs are still rewarded with these contracts that they have, tens of millions of dollars. The companies fail, people have lost their jobs, lost their pensions from the company, etc., and they still get rewarded. So things, the financial system is completely out of balance, and that's why we see a lot of pressure on the financial markets, and also technologies such as blockchain technologies, which is going to bring a lot of integrity and transparency to this. So there's a lot of change happening in the world right now, which is absolutely fantastic. So in one side, we're living in a time of crisis. On the other side, it's an awesome opportunity to be open and to be engaged in the change. But there's always a time gap between here and the other side. So if you're brave enough to enter the no man's land space, it's very, very exciting. And I love to be in these areas because that's where you can get the greatest rewards as well. And I'll just touch on one thing, is that we've designed things that anyone from everywhere can be involved with us, but there's absolutely no reason for anyone to put themselves at financial risk to be involved with us. We've designed it that way. So be responsible, understand what we have here, and manage your risk. It's really, really important to get the best results out of your involvement with Utopian Global. Of course, Claudia's going to teach you how to actually clear risk completely on the short-term income strategy that we actually have. So back over to you, Claudia.
Yes, and you know, the simple analogy I always do is, let's imagine you would have gotten involved in when we started. This was in 2008 with gold and silver. We have many more products now, exciting products, especially of course a store with what we do. But just, you know, just if you would have got involved in 2012 and just, you know, 25, 50 bucks a month put aside and turned it into gold or silver. Well, I started when gold was around $500 or $600. Yeah. So what is the gold price today, Bill? I think it's 1,600, right?
It's over that. But that's true, Claudia. So you've made threefold on your money in one sense. If you've been saving in gold and silver over that long period of time, and you've been a holder of it, there comes a period of time where you may need to liquidate some, but you're actually liquidating at an exchange rate much higher than the time you actually purchased it. That's one thing. The other thing, of course, is that gold is a store of value, and paper currency is certainly not. In fact, the monetary system is designed to transfer wealth away from you back to the central banking system through inflation. And when we understand that, we have to not save and build a wealth through paper wealth. We need to build a wealth through real assets, whether it's real estate, businesses, natural resources, etc. That's how you want to be able to build wealth, and primarily income generating. Because we need that cash flow still, and you still need this paper stuff because it pays our bills, it pays our meals and rents and whatever it might be, airplane tickets. So we still need that, but that's just more so of a utility for our daily expenses. But to build longer term wealth and generational wealth, you've got to own real assets, you know.
And then even that, so just again, going back to my story 12 years ago, and we have some people in the call who started with me and have done the same. So then on top of that, let's just think 12 years ago, a leaf of bread, and again, I make the German index here because this is where I live. You know, you could get, you know, a good, you know, we have this typical German dark bread, which actually is really tasty and nice. You know, you would pay around what, €2, €1.80 for a leaf of bread. Well, now you cannot get this anymore. You pay €4 or a little bit over in a typical German bakery. So not only that, of course, my value, if I was to change that gold I had saved back into euro and back into dollars, I would get way more for it. But also I could get way more in terms of when I compare it to any product. I can compare it to a milk, to a yogurt, to an ice cream, to whatever product I want to compare it to. And so this alone is a no-brainer. So all our customers, if they just had done this, all our affiliates, if they just had done this, you know, they're really, really well off. And so now people right now, what can they do? Is it too late? Is it too late to save in gold? Bill, what do you think?
Well, absolutely not. Again, it's understanding what it is that it's an insurance policy. Now, do you buy an insurance policy after your house is burnt down or beforehand? Obviously, it's only beneficial beforehand, correct? So the gold and silver mindset should be, okay, whatever your income is, you might decide to say, I'm taking 3, 5, 10% of my paper income. I'm going to put that towards gold and silver. And that's my long-term strategy. And I can assure you on silver, especially, I think over the next, actually just this year alone, it's up significant percentage points. I mean, double digit, and gold as well. So it's been an outstanding asset. So to me, I like to save in it because I don't want to have money just sitting in the bank, which is going backwards. And in European banks, of course, and US banks, you've got negative interest rates. So they're actually charging you in some places to actually have the money in the bank. So, I mean, it's just ludicrous. Why would you do that? Is it too late? Absolutely not. If you want to build long-term wealth in a highly liquid form, that's what we provide at Utopian Global, because you might be saving, let's just say you saved anything from €50 a month to maybe a few €1,000 a month in gold and silver. It doesn't really matter what the amount is. The important part is you're saving in real assets. There may come a time, it could be a week from now, unexpected circumstance happens. It could be 2 years from now that you need to actually liquidate back to cash. Well, it's very simple. You log into your back office, you select gold, silver, you say sell. At the next London Bullion Market trading day, it's sold, and whatever the sell price is from the refinery, the London Bullion Market refinery, which is in Switzerland, that's the price that you get. And within 24 hours, that money value is back in your account, and from there it can be paid out to your Bitcoin account or directly to your nominated bank account. So it's highly liquid. Whereas other assets, of course, if you have businesses or real estate or apartments and things, you just can't put them on the market and sell straight away. You know, so this is the great thing about gold and silver. Most importantly, it's money. It's valued the same, priced the same globally. And we have the purest gold. It's 99.9 pure, all produced at a London Bullion Market refinery in Switzerland. But it's an insurance policy. That's the way you want to think about it and look at it long term and buy bits and pieces. I like to price average month after month. You know, the funny thing is, most people don't jump on the bandwagon until the price has already moved 20%.
Yeah.
You know, people are talking about it now, but some of the biggest moves have already happened this year in one sense, in the last 6 months. So, but that's just the way it was. That's the way it is with Bitcoin as well. You know, people don't buy, they don't constantly buy. They'll buy when it's already moved 20 or 30%, but that's okay. I believe in price averaging on a monthly basis. Just put a little bit there each month. And that's what you can do with our system, whether it's €25, whatever the amount is. It doesn't matter. You're saving in real assets, and which are highly liquid and can be converted back to cash at any time. So
And
me,
that's the whole
no.
point. If it's in small, and that's the whole point. If it is in small, you know, it just you don't have to like, okay, so put every month at 200, 300, 400 aside. If you just put a 25 or 50 euro aside, which you're anyway going to spend, you spend the money anyway. I mean, if you're in Europe, if you're in Australia, if you're in New Zealand, if you're in the US, come on, that's a joke. You anyway spend it, right? If
Well,
you are,
a Starbucks coffee is probably $4. You know, $4 a day. So put that over a particular month here. In fact, with us, you're getting real assets and you're actually owning international business. But I won't go into that. You're going to present that later. The importance is to understand the mindset. Paper wealth loses value over time. That's the way the system's designed. So therefore, you've got to switch your thinking. You've got to switch your thinking to saving in real assets and be engaged in assets which are going to generate income. And that's exactly what we're doing here with Utopian Global. And it's been designed to be available for all people, all cultures, all financial standings and levels. And it's really, if you do it smart, it's relatively low risk, but you're involved with real assets that normally, for example, Raccoon Bend, these assets would never come onto the market for the normal person. Over 80% of it's owned by industry insiders, geologists, engineers, and so forth. The Catholic Church Scholarship Fund owns a percentage. It's only through the relationship of Ryan Messer and Store that we have access to that and wanted to bring that to our members. There's another part of the portfolio of gold and silver. You're actually owned part of ownership of Raccoon Bend. Now, Raccoon Bend has proven reserves. You got to talk about that, Claudia, I know. It has proven reserves, certified proven reserves for the next 25 years, and the internal rate of return over that period annually is about 13%. So 13% year one, 13% year two. In fact, the year one's probably around 20%. It goes up and down, but over the course of the whole 25 years, it's around 13% per year. Now go and check what your bank's giving you. So this is a relatively low risk investment, but you're going to get a good return on that. It's great to be part of this, you know.
Absolutely, and this is of course what we have in our platform in store in basically Utopian Global. So Utopian Global gives you this access to these things, such as of course Raccoon Bend, which is in a store, so you can earn from those income producing assets via the store platform, which is really fantastic. People just sometimes don't see it, they don't really get it, they don't grasp it, what a big deal this actually is. So we really have to sometimes, okay, well, wake up, because I mean, where else? I mean, yes, there's so many other companies, so many Ponzi schemes, so many whatever not they're gonna sell you, but hey, this is real. We already own it. If you own store, you already are part owner of it, and it's going to pay, and it's going to pay long term. So this is the whole point, and it's going to produce, because let's face it, you know, oil we're going to still need in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years, and in 50 years from now, even though we will have alternative resources, even though we have to have alternative resources, even though we have to absolutely go full steam renewable energy, we're still gonna see oil there. It is just the way it is. Again, wealth. Well, you got to understand, you got to learn what wealth is. In fact, I just read the other day, millennials, so people who were born, is it millennials or is this Generation Z? Anyway, people who are born like now from 2000 onwards, so the youngsters, the young people now, or 2003 on, I think they say, from 2003 on, that's a new, I think, Generation Z or whatever they call it. They already say, in comparison with, yes, the millennials, so millennials, they're very much into, of course, debt, and they're going into college, university, etc. So they already have a burden with that. The new generation Z, they're way more interested, studies have shown, into getting a solid financial education. So they're not wanting to repeat the habits of their generation prior, which is a lot of them are actually already in debt. And so this is a good trend actually, which is happening. Of course, now through social media, for internet, we can learn, we can analyze, we can look at different ways, we can find new ways, or old ways of saving habits. You know, what our you know, what basically why gold, etc., etc. So wealth obviously is the part in our platform which is all has to do with gold and silver, because this is generational wealth. Education, well, from these calls and from, of course, the many other programs we deliver, you can learn how to create generational wealth. And for creating generational wealth, it also has to do with a mindset, with having a mindset of a wealthy person. So mindset, all this has also to do with, of course, the actual facts about the monetary system to learn. So all this we really provide in this ecosystem. And of course, if you decide to do some marketing, if you decide to share the message, if you decide you want to make an extra income apart from the assets, if you decide you are wanting to do an extra holiday and you want to get paid for that holiday, well, then you can actually share the message with other people. Because let's face it, when we look at the financial education, most people are actually illiterate. That's why, you know, they never get anywhere. That's why they're always short of money. And that is why they are always in debt. In fact, we have so many people, so many countries where, you know, just credit card spending is just a normal habit, and they can never pay back their credit card debt. So see, most people, they are employees. It's actually 95% of people, which is good. It's good to have a job, but yet, of course, you always have to trade your time for money. Always. 95% of the people, they have to trade their time for money. So that means if they're ill, if they're sick, well, there's no money coming in unless you have a real good government actually looking after you. And these governments are getting rare and rare and rare. Now, of course, you have also a big amount of the population which are looking to be self-employed, having their own little self-employed business. The same deal. You are working for money. You're trading your time for money. And again, you only have 24 hours. Yet what we have with Utopian Global and through Utopian Global is you can become a business owner, meaning you own a business where you don't depend on a single income, but you have leverage. That's where, of course, wealth is created. You own a system. 95% of wealth is actually created by being a business owner, meaning that income doesn't depend on active work and people work with you. You have people in a team working with you. While I'm speaking right now, well, I'm getting pictures sent to my phone here. There's other people around the world doing presentations in other languages. They're sending me the images. So that means, well, it doesn't depend on me presenting. I have many, many other people also presenting at the same time in different languages. This is cool, isn't it? So when I go to bed here in Germany, I will know when I sleep nice and sound, you have people on the other world actually presenting this amazing opportunity. Then, of course, you can become an investor. An investor, well, what do? Again, you invest either in businesses, you could have real estate, or you invest in income producing assets, or better off, you use the commission you make and put it into things which make you more money. So all that actually we provide with Utopian Global. It's a no-brainer. And again, you don't need to lose your shirt, meaning go into debt in order to be able to participate. You don't have to do that. From as little as 50 euro a month, you can already be here as a business owner and be as an investor. You already can be there where 95% of wealth is created, or where only 5% of the population is. So this is what the power of Utopian Global really is, if you grasp that. And so Bill touched on, of course, the precious metals, thinking outside the bank. And again, we can go back to Roman times, back into history. Gold always have been money, and I explained already that very much and why it always will be money. We have a great system, Bill already touched on that as well, where you can very easily buy your gold. You can sell it if in case you need it. It's very, very fast, 24 hours 7. But really, the great assets which are under the belt of store. I mean, they're just amazing. Like the Texas Raccoon Band, 25+ year proven, not maybe possible, not maybe this, no, proven their reserves in this field, which gonna pay so long years. We just acquired that in August last year, and very, very soon we will see the first distributions out of that. So this is amazing alone in it's such. It produces 750 barrels a day, the whole field. We own, of course, a portion of that, 12%. We do own of that field in Texas. And so this is what the people, when they get involved with us, actually getting paid from. It's exciting. We had some people over there down, as you see here. But of course, now the next big movement is what? Obviously, plastics. What does plastic derive from? Petroleum, from oil. So plastic is a global problem, and we have a global opportunity. 95% is not recycled, and obviously dumped into oceans, into landfills. What if we could make it actually valuable again? That is here the big deal. And because of the association with Ryan Messer, through, of course, Store, through his experience and the team of actually breaking down that plastic and breaking that chain down there, and then actually converting it into pyrolysis oil and mixing and blending it, well, of course, we do have the amazing solution. I'm not going to play the video now. You can watch it afterwards. So what we have is, or what we do, or what we're trying to do here, well, actually, we're doing it, is we're building a first facility of polystream plastic to fuel plant, and the production will be around 54,000 kilo per day. Bill mentioned that already. That is approximately 51,000 liter per day per plant, which it will produce, which it will basically recycle and turn into 36,000 liter of low sulfur diesel and 15,000 liters of other marketable products. That is around 300 barrels of oil, which is producing, and that is gonna drive revenues estimated of $700,000 per month per plant. Now imagine the opportunity, imagine just the upside on that. How much plastic is being produced? How much is going to be produced in the future? Do you think it's going to be less or it's going to be more? Well, it's going to be way more, because the population is growing, because we need plastic. Even though we want to, like myself, first, I mean, I'm the first one to not use plastic bags, to not liking to use any plastic straws and all this packaging stuff. And no, yes, I go into my shopping basket, which is a homemade shopping basket, and I go there and I don't take any bag or whatsoever. I don't want it. I get my potatoes just loose. I get my peppers, my whatever I buy, I get it loose. I bring my, when I get my eggs, I go into the store and I get in my thing, the eggs, that I don't take a carton or whatever. I do that already. Many people don't. I do that. So yes, we are all for that, but yet still we will have plastic and more of plastic. So that means obviously the upside definitely is there. There is a lot has to be done, because again, we are basically swimming, walking everywhere in plastic. And so that alone is huge. I mean, just if in your grasp really these numbers, this is a big deal. And that is what we want to do. And that means, of course, what for our people who actually purchase a store? Well, of course, it means upside in their asset value. It means upside in their distributions they will gonna get. And that's just absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, we have the mineral reclamation and the remediation in those places like Ecuador, Peru, where we want to go in and, of course, clean up those sites, take out those minerals which have been left in, and going to do this reprocessing of the tailings with this new technology, taking all those chemicals out which they have poisoned the earth, because we know, and with this technology which now exists, there's a lot of leftover minerals in there, which sometimes are like 50 to even 70%, as I heard. And this is a huge upside. Again, it's going to take time. It's not today, it's not tomorrow. It's going to take a few years to with that project. It's already being worked on, but this is again another high growth project for the company to do. And so all these kind of projects with store alone, that's besides the gold, what you can accumulate, that is really what store does, will of course increase the value of the company and therefore increase the listing when we go on an exchange. But even before that, will actually pay you from the production of these different assets which are going to be added over time. So that's why right now you still have the possibility to get in cheap. Now, this is going to take away, and we're going to take it away in 5 or 6 days again. It's going to increase a little bit. So meaning we have right now this amazing bonus you get from 390 onwards. This is going to go lower and lower. I mean, you're going to get less and less of these bonuses. Why? Well, because obviously the increase of the value. So right now you're still in the pre-sell, basically stage. So that's why this store basically is actually selling it at a very, very low price in comparison to it will be when we go listing. Again, a disclaimer here, to achieve, of course, the optimal financial result, which we're all striving for, the timing of the exchange listing will be decided. We have estimated, but will be decided by board and influenced by the current asset value which have been purchased and revenues generated and current financial market conditions at the time of listing. Also very important, because you can have all the things done right on the end of the company, but then the market condition is not right. Then it also doesn't make sense to launch. So you've got to have everything, of course, in place and right. And of course, you as a owner of stores, a partial owner of store, you of course become your own certificate, which gives you the ownership in the underlying asset in the company. So this is what you actually get, and that is phenomenal. So no matter what Utopian Global, whatnot, you actually, when you sign the document and when you purchase store through Utopian Global, you actually have ownership in Source Rock Energy Partners. Source Rock Energy Partners is the holding company of store. Source Rock Energy holds the asset. You get ownership there, which is pretty amazing. So as you saw, Bill, of course, he's the founder and CEO of Utopian Global. He has a lot of experience in, of course, entrepreneurship, business owner. If you haven't read his article in Napoleon, on the Napoleon Hill Foundation on success, because he has been invited by the Napoleon Hill Foundation. If you never read Think and Grow Rich, then I suggest you go ahead and do that. And he hasn't been invited because of, yeah, well, let's go invite him. He was invited to actually write a whole chapter on success, because he certainly has achieved great success coming from a very humble beginning. And so Ryan Messer, he is the founder of CEO from the partnership of Bill and Ryan. Of course, a store was launched. Huge experience of this young man in energy assets, in of course drilling and refining petroleum, in exploring, in all what has to do with that energy assets, of course, sustainable resources. He's totally focused on sustainability, on renewables. Very much as he has been educated in oil, as much as he personally, and you can see it, of course, when you travel around with his behaviors and families, and because you look at there first, you can see he's super conscious of the environment. So you know, we all have this saying, we know all those people, you know, they talk, but then behind they are different. Not here, certainly not the case, which is really good. He's always looking, obviously, out for the people, because when you buy into store, well, you want to know who are you in bed with, who is actually looking that store does well. Well, we have a huge team of around 250 years of experience in the team. So great guys, and they're all involved in different kind of basically businesses in terms of course, gold, silver, precious metals, mining, minerals, petroleum, sustainable energy, blockchain, law, etc. So a huge team, and those are just a few people of the way bigger team, because again, we are nothing without a team. So the team, the experience is vital. And of course, in order to get more assets under the belt, well, we need you. We need you. Why? Well, because you, the customer, you, the affiliate, you're going to make the marketing with us. So we need voices. We need voices who share the message. Why? Well, because as more voices we get, as obviously more we can sell this project, more money we can actually raise, more money can be invested, more pyrolysis plants can be built, more plastic can be recycled, less plastic we will see in the street, and more money you will have in the pocket, and more you can go and spend on. Bill, did I sum that up right?
Yes, Clay, I was going to touch on the team before, but you pretty much covered the team. Primarily, that's what you're investing in. You're investing in a team. Can the team do what they say they can do? And this was really the key point for me when I first met Ryan Messer back in 2004. I met Philip Judge in 2003. I flew to America. I wanted to meet the team. I wanted to see the assets. I wanted to see and feel, are these guys telling me the truth? Am I going to invest a significant amount of money in this particular group, in which I did do, because I had confidence in the team and the assets. This is where you really are here. No, correct, Claudia. As a customer, you can be engaged and just get ownership of real assets, whether it be gold, silver, and or store. But as an affiliate, of course, you get the leveraged income benefit. You have the ability to be, if you like what we do, and share it with some colleagues or friends, and they buy a few of our products and services, you're going to earn a referral commission. And that in itself generates you another source of income, reduces your risk. That's your short-term income. At the same time, you get the long-term income, which will be generated from the assets. So absolutely, what you've said there is absolutely correct. And each 50 euros per month, the asset accumulation is exactly that. It's asset accumulation. Okay, each time you buy it, if you're in America, you're getting gold or silver. If you're outside of America, of course, you're getting store assets, store equity, which is, of course, ownership in the assets that we have. But back over to you, Claudia.
And as Dr. Blue always says it so well, I always remember he's saying it, you know, you don't get potions and lotions, even though potions and lotions, it's great, but actually you're accumulating real asset. Again, when you go back to the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant, that puts you on the right side of the quadrant. That puts you on the side where only 5% of the population is in, yet where 95% of the money is being made. That's what you got to understand. 95% of the money is being made on the right side of the quadrant. 5% of people are only in that. You will be having access of that, and this is so important to understand. And you see here the packages once you become an affiliate member. Of course, with Utopian Global. So basically, Bill, that is what I wanted to share with you today, and of course with the audience today. Now it's again, as it says here, it's time to get in and build wealth and start, of course, generating money now. So if you want to join, if you liked what you saw, contact the person who introduced to this webinar, to this presentation today. Ask questions and get yourself started. Again, this is the best decision you can ever do. But again, it starts with you, because you got to decide: do you want to live, you know, the way you have been living, or would you like a change? Would you like to get paid today? Or would you like getting started to get paid in a year? Would you like to basically make money when you sleep today, or would you like to get or don't have that, whatever. I mean, it is basically up to you. You have to make the decision. I know we made the decision for us. With you or without you, we moving, that is for sure. With you or without you, we moving. So you better, of course, basically make that decision and go back again to that person who introduced you to this presentation. Now, understand that we have a 14 days money back guarantee. Store currently is not being licensed to be sold in the United States. So in the United States, you get gold and silver. Again, this is an amazing time right now we are living in. It's an interesting time, but yet again, to every challenge, which right now a lot of people facing, there is also opportunity. So with that, I want to say thank you. You can listen and re-listen to this presentation again by going to this link. And when you're sharing this presentation with others, again, we will provide you the link in order to do so. So with that, Bill, again, thank you so much for being here on the call today. And I thank all the listeners.
Well, thank you, Claudia. I just want to re-emphasize there, you just quoted in the disclaimer, a 14-day money-back guarantee. Where in the world can you buy investments of real assets, a global business, have time to look in there, look around, I like it, I don't like it, you don't like it, I guarantee you, you'll get 100% of your money back if it's within the terms of the 14-day money-back guarantee. I don't care if you put in 200,000 euro, 50 euro into it, you'll get your money back. We don't want to take people's money if they're not engaged and understand what we have. No other company does that. So that has huge power. The other thing is, of course, just for the people who are interested in gold, we have clients on this call here. Members have been with us for over 10 years, including yourself, Claudia. And as you well know, of course, gold and silver is up around probably 25% the last 4 or 5 months. And for people who have contacts in Dubai, I'm going to be in Dubai next Monday. And then I've got to go to Uganda, and then of course we're meeting the team in Brazil in mid-March. So people have members, qualified members. I'm not going to do the presentation for you. You have to do the presentation. But if you have qualified people who'd like to meet me while I'm in Dubai, I'll certainly set some time aside, and it'd be a pleasure to be able to do that, or in Uganda as well. But they have to be presented to. They have to know what it's about. It's not my job to do that. You are the marketers. You are the referees. But if they like to meet me and talk about it and ask questions, I love to do that. So thank you, Claudia, for a great presentation, and thanks to everyone joining us.